XenDesktop, of course, covers the full range of devices, and that's the announcements last week were very much about expanding it for the first time to laptop users, which is something that virtual desktops have never done before. But the XenDesktop itself and desktop virtualization now for the first time covers the full range. So you can have thin clients and PCs for office-based workers. You can have laptops for mobile workers, and very uniquely, you can now basically allow any device that comes in from a user and extend your Windows desktops and applications out to those devices. So end users bring in an iPad, they bring in an Android tablet, they bring in a smartphone, they bring in a BlackBerry device. Any of these kind of things, you can now deliver your existing Windows applications and even a full desktop, if it's a large enough device, out to those end users with almost no setup, very, very secure. So it really puts IT in the position to deliver these Windows apps and desktops as a service to any type of device out there. So one of the things that is very unique about the Citrix desktop virtualization solution is that it allows you to effectively broadcast a Windows desktop and Windows applications as a service, and then do that to any device and to switch back and forth. So just an example, what I have here is, this is my own personal iPad, and what you can see down here in the corner is it's actually running Windows right now. This is a trivial setup. I can run any of my Windows applications. I can run Windows XP, Windows 7, and then just to give you an example of the kinds of things I think that are really changing the minds of customers. This here now is Autodesk 2.0. So a very traditional sort of client-server Windows application, and you can see anything that I could do in that environment on Windows, I can do right here on my iPad, and it automatically embraces all of the touchscreen, kind of capabilities. I can basically, manage any of the features that I would normally do on Windows now on an iPad. Very intuitive, very natural. And what we're seeing more and more is environments like healthcare and education and field services and places like that where they've got all of their businesses running in a Windows environment on specific applications. The ability now to broadcast those to an Android device, to an iPad tablet, to a BlackBerry, to a WebOS environment, any of these types of things, down to a phone, to a tablet, really opens up new worlds to them. They don't have to change any of the back-end infrastructure. It's automatically secure. The data never lives on the device itself. It's always centralized back in the data center, as is the management of the application. So there's very, very little IT has to do. They can just literally turn on the devices. They use a piece of software called Citrix Receiver. It's available on all of the app stores. In fact, in the last year alone, there have been over 1 million downloads of Citrix Receiver for iPhone, iPad, Android, and all these various devices, and those numbers are just going through the roof. So that's really the what I think is getting people excited about this environment, and the ability to take all of the investment that you currently have in your Windows applications and desktops and deliver them out to these devices. And it, by the way, also is a fun thing to show. You can sit on an airplane with Windows 7 running your iPad, and guarantee you get conversations very quickly. So and we're excited about it, and I think it's this is the kind of thing that when you think about virtual desktops, you have to keep in mind that it's really changing the world beyond just thin clients and sort of the things that people typically associate with desktop virtualization. The biggest driver, I think, for an IT person comes in kind of two areas. First, we're seeing a lot of focus on security and regulatory compliance. The biggest area they're concerned about in security is all these different devices that are leaving, and like the data's out there, and how do I secure that and protect it? Desktop virtualization allows them to say, regardless of the device, wherever the location is, whatever the type of user, I can now centrally manage all the data, the applications, the desktops, and that's a huge, huge driver for them. It's never been possible before. The second major driver, I think, for IT is that that you can now, the kinds of diverse changes that you have in a day-to-day life. A new user comes on, you can add them, give them a new desktop environment in 10 seconds. You want to take 100 users from building A to building B. I mean, you can do that literally in a couple of hours. These are the kinds of things that would take days or even weeks before. So once everything's managed centrally, it's like you're broadcasting a television signal, a television service. You just switch it from this device to that device, from this location to that location, and it just completely transforms the traditional way of going around every physical PC and device and managing, installing, patching, and all those kinds of things. So it's really transformational, I think, from an IT perspective.